you think about Bayer Leverkusen?
I don't care. I couldn't give a shit.
Normality resumed.
Who cares?
OK, speaking of which, we didn't even mention that they've stopped Bayern. In doing all of this, they've stopped the mighty Bayern. And things are not looking good at Bayern right now because another rejection, 4-5 now when it comes to coaches at Bayern. Here is Thomas Tuchel. This is my last press conference on Bayern's training centre. The agreement from February remains. There were further discussions, but we have not found an agreement on further cooperation. That's why the agreement remains.
Yeah.
Archie, what happened and what's been the reaction to this?
It is deeply embarrassing for Bayern Munich. Every time you think it can't get any worse for them in their search for a new coach, it somehow does. A reminder, the candidates who they've approached so far, who have turned them down, Xabi Alonso, Julian Nagelsmann, Ralf Rangnick, Oliver Glasner, we found out as well. Crystal Palace turned round and said, 18 million is what you're prepared. No, we'll take 100 million. And Bayern were like, okay, bit cheeky. And then they turned round to the person they were already in the relationship with and went, tell you what, Thomas, do you fancy it still? And he was like, well, if you give me a longer contract. And they were like, oh, not that much. And he went, well, me neither. So that is the crux of it. And I think what struck me is one of the big broadsheet newspapers in Munich, the Süddeutsche Zeitung, they are not the ones who scream from the front page. They leave that to the tabloids. But when they, on their front page of their website, are going, crisis at Bayern, you know that things are hitting the fan in quite a serious way right now. And the dynamic between Uli Hoeneß and Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and those below them, even though they are not meant to be really in positions of power anymore, I think that you're seeing right now with their struggle to appoint someone, just how much that the power dynamics in that club have been wrecked. Oliver Kahn, who was fired last year, has spoken about, have you seen Succession? Because I think it's a lot like that right now. And to be honest, I think he's being proven right. Max Eberl and Christoph Freund, who are the sporting directors in charge of finding a new coach, I think that they have been humiliated in their search right now, particularly Eberl, who has said on a few occasions that they're hoping to get something tied up by the following week. I don't think that he wants Hansi Flick for a start, because that was a previous solution to a problem. Roberto De Zerbi has already said, oh, well, I'm very happy here at Brighton. So now they're going to have to go and persuade him to be now the sixth choice coach of Bayern Munich. Look, it's a huge job and it's an amazing club. But right now, would you want to walk into that whilst knowing as well that throughout the following winter, somebody will say to you at every press conference, if you even drop a point, well, Jurgen Klopp's available. Is that something that is entering your mind? So, yeah, problems afoot at Bayern.
Could be a long summer and a long
Klopp
season.
thing won't go away, will it? You know, I mean, he's going to take a rest. But that look, we talked about this the other day when Dan and Stevie and myself. Stevie and I both were on the same page here. This would have been, I think, a stupid decision for Thomas Tuchel to even. Now we know Xavi's done it at Barcelona, and I read somewhere they were thinking about
that might not be materialising after all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, you talk about bonkers. I mean, that was a crazy decision in the first place. He's going to go back to Barcelona when Real Madrid are out signing Mbappe as if things are going to change. But I'll translate Thomas Tuchel a little bit and I'll simplify it. I had to think about reversing my decision, then I realised I'm working with a bunch of muppets. You know,
I think that's exactly what he would have said.
Yeah, and why would I go back in there and be humiliated, as Archie said, when I get the odd bad result and they go out and usurp me by offering the job to Jurgen Klopp or whoever it is. So I think the right thing for him to do is to go away with his, whether you think he's done a good job or not, go away with his head held high and take stock and see what's out there, because he'll carry on and manage with somewhere. He'll be managing somewhere, but at this moment in time, I mean, I think to and clearly he's not, but even to think about going back in there after the way that he's been dealt with, wouldn't have been a very good move.
Well, we better let Archie get some rest because Archie is going to be at the game tomorrow.